Welcome. My name is Penelope Chatterton. Welcome to Awaken the Dream. I'm so happy to be here and grateful to my director, Tim Riley. We were chuckling about how long we've known each other, and it's got to be about 10 years, and he seems to be just the master at knowing when I'm going to move from one camera to another, so I am grateful. I also want to mention Liz Parker, who wrote an introduction to the meaning of the infinite way by Joel Goldsmith. She is remarkable. She wrote this book because, frankly, with 50 books, 1,250, let's say, lectures, how does one weave their way through the infinite way? Now, I just weave my way through it by just letting it come to me, but some people might need this book to help with that process. And she is amazing, and she works with her husband, Marty, and they've also created something called goldsmithglobal.org. It's a way, if you don't have a group and you're alone somewhere in some town where nobody knows what you're talking about, you can tune in by clicking on that link and then find that you can work with a program where you will be introduced, you'll have a lecture, and there'll be a quiet meditation, but it's all beautifully choreographed by Liz and Marty. So do take advantage of that if you care to. And also, it's my anniversary today. It would have been 61 years ago today that I married David Bennett. And he was a child prodigy musician, a very fascinating man, and we met in a music department. We were both music majors, fell madly in love. We had 2 kids. When I lost them, one was 4 months old, one was a year and 4 months old, so it was a very big tragedy for me. But again, all I can say to David is happy anniversary. Thanks for the time we had, which was exquisite. And I will tell my friends that years ago, he did come to me. That does happen, looking totally divine, all lit up and smiling, and just, it was very touching. And that does happen to us if we're open to quiet and silence. So today, this lecture was done in 1964 by Joel, and it's called Between Two Worlds, Material Sense and Spiritual Consciousness. And I'm telling you right now, it's very jam-packed. I'm hoping I can get it all in the right order because I get nervous because I have so much preparation, and then I just want to make sure God does the flowing for me because I need that. So Joel opens up talking to his class. It's a lecture. And he says, I want to tell you, there were atheist countries years ago, and the atheists actually were very gutsy. They decided that they didn't care for the Christian principles that didn't seem to be working. The prayer of, I want to be healthy, I need money, praying for something as an individual. For the atheists, who were considered incredibly bright, by the way, just said, that's just not working. Look at the world. We've got wars, we've got disease, we've got chaos, people one-upping, there's greed, there's all this stuff in a category called fear. It's a big category, and everything that you can think of is there. So the atheists gave us a gift by that suggestion. But, as Joel said, it didn't mean that they didn't believe in a God. So we're talking 4,000 years ago. Buddha had a God, Jesus had a God. There were mystics that actually got it, that we are whole, complete, and the divine riches are totally ours if we let go of the material plane. Now, the material plane is based on all the fear suggestions I just made about wanting something for you, saying to God, look, I'm Penelope and I need this. Friends, have you noticed that does not work? What we have to remember is, yes, we are one with God. Now, what does that mean? There's a difference there. Not two, we're one with God. However, the catch to that is your creative source knows more about you and what you need than you do. And I find great comfort in that. It's like I can just surrender and show up and say, okay, what are we doing today? This is your day. I am not going to program it. You are in charge. And where does that take us, friends? Always to the still small voice, to hunches, to things that happen magically around us that are gifts of the Spirit. And as I mentioned, David came back to me. I had another loss about 3 or 4 months ago where It's a relative, and there's someone in a market that has a voice just like her. And you know, Spirit is so amazing. We get gifts from people checking in with us in the oddest ways. I lost a sister many, many years ago, and her name was Sally. What do? I walk on a beach, and the dog named Sally comes running up to me. I mean, be open. Spirit speaks for sure. Just don't expect it to look the way you'd expect to look at it. So anyway, my friends, let's carry on. Between two worlds, we were born into a material plane, a sense of what is right and what is wrong. There's good, there's evil, there's disease. We're victims to that. Honestly, I hate to use that word, but we came in being inundated with politics, families, schools, everyone helping us with what we need to be afraid of. Okay, that's fair. That's fair, I guess. I mean, it's this material world, this sense of we're alone. We don't have a God that really will help us where we need that God. So my friends, my major message today is surrender. That word, surrender, and the magic word to the infinite way is consciousness. Consciousness is being aware. Now, being aware in the silence is a huge job. I'm not going to pretend that this is easy. I wake up each day. I've been plugging on this journey since I really was influenced by my father and grandparents as Christian Scientists in the 1800s. And let me tell you, Joel got into healing by seeing his father healed. He was healed. So I have that affinity with Joel. Joel's left his body. I've left my body. I had a pet that I was closer to than a human being. That I don't know how I got through the loss of Miranda. She entered my body, unlike knowing that that could happen, and 6 days after her death, I woke up and had to turn over, and out of my back lifted this spirit that literally I felt the vibration go to the ceiling. And again, it's not a gift everybody gets, but boy, I sure knew what it was, because to this day, I miss her. But that's okay. She's in spirit. And the gift I got from God was, we're invisible. We're spirits. This body is an instrument. It's something we can use. God can use our individual bodies to serve. Okay? We all have a different DNA. What do you think of that? We're all different. And isn't it a miracle that the God that loves us and created this perfect universe knows every single one of us? Inside and out, created a perfect body. I mean, a man didn't put our heart in there and give us a brain and a way to work out and how our liver functions. Human beings didn't create the planets that seem to know what they're doing, or notice that the Earth is 78% water and 1/8 land. And animals beget animals, and humans beget humans, and rabbits get rabbits, and apples grow apples. I mean, that should blow us away. You know, it's funny, that takes me back to a funny recall I had as a kid, that I wondered why I was breathing. I don't know how young I was, but I was noticing that my chest went up and down. I thought that was bizarre. I kind of guess I was wondering where I came from and why that. So please wonder. The miracle of life is phenomenal. We were created, and the heavenly riches are there, and we've all got the seed. So, my friends, another key to miracles is the Christ is in all. The worst person you know has the seed. God didn't leave anybody out. The worst person you know has the Christ. So what you need to do, if you want inner peace, you don't see the monster or whatever you think you're seeing, you can pray and relax and ask God to love this if you can't do it. But just know there's the potential there for anyone to wake up, because whether it's this lifetime, another, or wherever they've been, the potential will always be there, because it has to be there. We were created by an incredibly creative source that knows not only the heavenly riches, but knows each and every one of us. I just think that's magic. So you don't know anybody, okay? No, you do not know anybody. So, kind of like that, all I can do is project. Okay, if there's the Christ in this person, then that's what I'm going to see. It doesn't mean we're supposed to be best friends. And one of the things you might notice as a spiritual person is you might not attract certain people because the plane you're on is that weird. I often chuckle when I tell people what I'm talking about. They say, "That's nice, dear." So just know, you will attract like minds. I have a website. I'm sure you all know, awakenthedreamtv.org. I have people that get back to me, that shoots you to YouTube, which I think for 30 years I've been doing that. But in the last 10, Joel hit me over the head with his first book, Parenthesis in Eternity. I read that and I couldn't believe it. I mean, his Christian Science, his out of body, his being a messenger, his listening ability, his getting it that in 17 years, as he says, and as I say right here, this is not me talking, this is the gift that I've been given by relating to Joel Goldsmith and the infinite way. Yeah, that book, that was it. I sat down and bawled like a baby and just knew I've got a soulmate. So I'm his magpie. Let's just put it that way. I'm just preaching what works for me because it worked for him. And he's been all over the globe. In 17 years, he just had to keep surrendering all his financial problems, all his trying to get established. He just kept surrendering, and it just sort of gelled. It took time, but it gelled, and it took off. And again, as I say, if you need a group, look at that Goldsmith Global. If you need support, because honestly, friends, this is not the easiest road to take. So on that note, Joel was interesting. He said, I went to a medical guy and I said, look, what helps somebody stand up? The guy said, well, your muscles. And Joel said, well, that's interesting. He said, who creates the muscles? Well, the doctor could not go there. And I think where Joel was going is that consciousness is responsible for everything. Now, when you're driving your car, please be conscious that your instincts, you've checked in. God is driving your car with your instincts. You're on deck as a driver. And I do that because I drove 3 hours yesterday. And it's like the Red Sea opens up, you're protected. But my friends, being conscious is a slow process. And I'm speaking for myself. You might all be doing way ahead of me. But working each day on silence, waking up, feeling the presence, being grateful is a process that takes time. Each day you will find as you check in and you see the days that you check in more how miracles happen. Oh, geez, look at that. I'm walking on water today, or this came to me, which I didn't expect. I didn't plan it. It's hard to say don't plan your life, don't build your funds, don't worry about talk about money. As he says, funds come and go. You can have a fortune and all of a sudden before you know it, where did it go? Supply will be given to you by your source. You will have exactly what you need. And that's where I'm at right now. What do I need? I'm moving. Yes, I'm moving. And man, is that stressful, unless you just say, look, universe, find me the right place. I've got the right mover. It's just all we can do is surrender. Remember the words, 2 words today, surrender and consciousness. Surrender each day, each moment, and look at your neighbor as yourself. I love my neighbor as myself. That is seeing the Christ within another. So here's the feedback on that. What you project is all that's going to come back to you. If you're going to judge somebody, if you're going to be nasty, if you're going to try and take money from somebody, you have to live with that, and you will, because that's not who you are. You will pay a price in the heart, in the soul. That cannot be done without pain. So if you love your neighbor as yourself, no matter what a mess that neighbor could look like, you're going to give them the gift of grace. Your grace is your sufficiency, and your grace is everyone's sufficiency. Everybody has grace. Grace is the still small voice, the hunches, the funny miracles that you'll notice. As I said, that funny lady that has that voice just like someone I lost. It's like Kathy saying hello. I miss you too. It's just being open to what could look ridiculous here in the material world, but you are now in the spiritual realm of consciousness. So I ask you to think about that. If consciousness can hold you up, let's say you're unconscious and your muscles are relaxed, you might say, well, your physical body did that, but no, consciousness, whether you're asleep or dead, is still in charge of your body and your soul and everything about you. The creative source made this brilliant mind of yours, this brilliant heart. And by the way, I love the fact that if you want to find God, your heart is the place to go. God is love. And what can love in your body is your heart. Your brain can do all kinds of brilliant things. You can have 6 doctorates. You could be a brilliant writer, whatever. But what really counts is what's your heart feeling. And if you open it up, it always wants to give love. That's where the Christ is. It wants to give love to the world. As an ex-runner, marathoner, I laugh at myself. I wave to every car because they don't like runners sometimes, and I didn't want to get run over. So I noticed on my way over, this wonderful lady was walking with a dog and just waved to me out of nowhere, and I thought, well, that's lovely. Love thy neighbor. Remember, you're connected. Now, let's go to this connection thing. If you and God are one, what about this total universe that was created perfectly? What do you think? It's complete. You are connected to every soul, no matter whether your DNA is different or what. And I think what I find so incredible is that a God can actually know you individually, everybody individually, and apply what he wants to every single individual, and every individual's different. I mean, really, if you think about that, that's pretty awesome. That's an awesome creator that can do that. I mean, think of people making babies, as I said, and rabbits making rabbits, and the sea has, and the planets seem to have a mind of their own. Man did not make that up. I mean, if that doesn't blow your mind, I don't know what will. It does mine. And it's funny how we get lost in the material plane where we just take for granted what it looks like. You know, you don't have to be diseased. You know, think about all the ads for what's wrong with you. Ugh, excuse me, but I find that hard. To overcome what's wrong with you, I suggest you claim your health, your great brain, your beautiful heart, your lovely family. And also, you know, if you need to work out, ask, am I doing it right? Is there something more I can do to honor my perfectly beautiful, healthy body? Can I eat better? Can I drink less? It's just something where, yeah, you're in this body. You are in an individual body, which is your instrument. It was created for God's use. You are being used for a mission, every one of you, a mission, something special. If you don't know what it is, that's okay. It's so funny that with my Christian Science and all of the things, all the spiritual paths that I have studied, that when Joel hit me, I didn't expect it. Be open. Something could hit you tomorrow, right this minute, that you hadn't thought of that could really be you. And that, you know, when it hits you, you'll vibrate to it. You will be in awe. Oh my God, that's me. Something you read, study. And you know, Joel, I love the fact that he respects everybody's spiritual practice. He doesn't care how you find God. You can be a Christian, you can be a Buddhist, you can be an atheist, but whatever it is, don't judge anybody. I mean, that's not good for your soul. Again, you're not seeing the Christ. Everyone is on a path doing their best. So, I'm doing my best. When I came here today, as usual, after 30 years of I hosted, I can't tell you, hundreds of people for 20 years. You know, I didn't expect Joel to hit me over the head, but he's a messenger. And as he says so humbly in this lecture, it's not me. I've been channeled. I keep receiving what I'm writing, what I'm talking about. All his lectures, all his books were written for him by Spirit. Spirit is in charge of your life. Spirit's invisible. You are invisible, lumbering around in your little body, which is an instrument for use. We're here, use it. What can you do with it? How can you serve? All right, think about that. You don't have to be a brilliant teacher, preacher, writer. You can be a janitor. You can be blind, you can be deaf. There are ways that you feel good by doing something for somebody else. And you know, if you're clueless and you really want to know what that is, ask. It is okay to ask. Even though someone knows you better than you do, it doesn't hurt to be vulnerable. I find if I cry in a prayer, man, does that work. It's like, talk about the prayers of the heart. Open it up. What's going on with you? You know, where do you need help? Where do you need advice? Where are you hurting? There's an answer. So my friends, happy anniversary again to my late husband. It was a very shocking death. It was a drowning. And my kids, Chris and Steph, are my gifts. The three of us together put our minds together, our hearts together, and we slugged it out, and we made it where we are today, and I'm grateful. And I'm grateful to Alexander, who I married again, and I had another neat kid. So the fact that they take care of each other and love each other means everything to this mama. It's like being a single mom isn't the easiest thing, but I'm not the only one, and there are people that lose entire families. I mean, the news is harsh in the world. The hardest thing for me to look at is when the animals come in on the ASPCA and what we can do. I mean, I suffer more. I have to turn it off because my heart hurts. We have to take care of everything that we see. We have to adopt pets. We have to do anything to help one another. It feels good to serve. It feels good. And you know, again, the plot for today is this. What you project out to you only comes back to you. You can't punish anybody. You can't be mean to anybody. That's not going anywhere. Where it's going is right back to you. So be careful. Honor your feelings. Honor the fact that you've been given a loving heart by God, who is love, and you're to use it. You're to see the world through those eyes. And I know it looks like a mess, and it is. In this plane, we got work to do. All right, we won't deny the fact that we need to work to raise consciousness. When you see what's going on politically, blah, 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 and how people are one-upping and taking advantage and lying their heads off, all you can do, and I have confidence in this, the worse it gets, the more consciousness rises, the harder we work. Because this planet was created whole, complete, and perfect. And you know, another thing Joel said, let's say you did something today for somebody. You might not see the results. Could be 100 years down the road. Your helping consciousness may show up when you're not here, but it will show up. Can you remember that? You don't have to see it immediately. Consciousness is the world of love. And it may show up centuries down the road. So you have to have faith in that. And I'm got to wind down here. You got to have faith in your contribution, in your helping the world, be it a food pantry, be it taking care of somebody's dog, taking care of your own children and helping them to see the love in everybody else. I mean, we all have this wonderful job to do. Consciousness is the key word, as is surrender. So on my checking out, thank you, Liz Parker and Marty. Thank you, Tim, again. Thank you, David, for being in my life. And Acropolis Books, my God, I can't forget that. They are heirs to Joel's work. If you need a book, go to Acropolis Books. They will help you. And they also have reading programs. They have all kinds of stuff for you, but it's all Joel. And I'm very proud of them and grateful that they have done all that they can for the world. So my friends, thank you for joining me today on Awaken the Dream. I will talk to you again soon.